Tony's Trucking. Now let's get rolling.
How's everybody doing today? Welcome to another edition of the Lead Pedal Podcast. This is our Lead Pedal Q&A edition, and this is episode number 963. And we had a question come in from one of our listeners on our YouTube channel and says, how do I gain experience as a new driver if nobody will hire me? He's having trouble getting through to the new one. So we'll talk about that as we come back right after this. So stay tuned. Hey folks, you know that Bison raised their rates at the beginning of the year for owner-operators and for company drivers. And I gotta tell you, it has been so successful that they wanted to let you know exactly how much their drivers are making. That's right, they have significantly increased the base rates for their teams. So owner-operator teams can earn up to $360,000 per year. That's right, you heard me say that right, $360,000 per year. Company team drivers can earn up to $120,000 per year per driver. That's right, per driver. That's some big numbers, right? They have a wide variety of Canada-only dedicated team positions available for folks to choose from, and Bison has a steady freight to keep the teams moving. So if you want to significantly increase your base rates, then you want to make sure that you sign up for that. Now, Bison has also increased the base rates for owner-operators. Owner-operators running Canada-only can earn up to $185,000 per year. They have a wide variety of Canada-only positions for owner-operators to choose from, and Bison has a steady freight to keep the owner-operators moving. So where can you learn more about all of these things? I mean, you know, $360,000 for owner-operator teams, $120,000 for company driver teams, and owner-operators running by themselves can earn $185,000 per year. Canada only, folks, that is incredible. Well, the best place to go is to go to bisondriving.com. And while you're there, while you're talking to the team, would you let them know that you heard about it from the Lead Pedal Podcast? Hey, good luck there. You're going to make some great money working for one of the safest fleets in North America. All right, so our question today comes from Manpreet, and Manpreet asked, how do I gain experience as a new driver if nobody will hire me? And I can tell you this is an extremely frustrating circle that a lot of drivers, especially new drivers, go to. Now, I'm not sure which, because the video that the comment came on was a carrier that does not hire new drivers. So I'm not sure if this person has watched other videos or contacted other carriers. They say they've called a lot of carriers. That doesn't really mean a whole lot. There's a lot of carriers you can call. That doesn't mean you're going to get a job as a new recruit. And of course, it depends where you live. We are based out of Ontario, Canada, so I'm not sure. I know the carriers around here very well. I don't know carriers in the U.S., anything like that. So I'm not sure where Manpreet is. Believe he's in Canada based on the tone of the letter, but I'm not sure. So he's asking how I went through this myself. When you are a new driver, I went through this when I switched from I started in the moving industry, and when I switched to the freight side, I ran into this problem. And I'd call people and they'd say, how do you're not old enough, or you don't have enough experience, or whatever it is. So it can be very frustrating. But what I found, and I was just at a job fair not too long ago, and it's amazing how many people come up and have no idea of how to look for a job. So the first thing you have to do is actually know what kind of job you want. I was sitting at our friend's booth, another radio, Sirius XM. I'll give Dave a plug. I was sitting at his booth, just talking. We're part of the Fleet Safety Council, and so I was just chatting with him, and people were coming up and asking if they had a trucking job. And I would look and I go, this is a radio booth. So I get that all the time. I get people, when I have a booth out there, they come and they go, so do you have a job? I go, no, we're a radio station or a podcast. So people are not doing their homework. That's the first thing. You need to actually look and go, which companies, what experience do I have, which company? So it comes down to a couple different things. If you're looking for a job in Ontario, if you're a new person looking for a job, here's how it works. First of all, you need to look for probably the larger companies. And he said that he did that, but I'm not sure how he knew. Just because a company has hundreds of trucks does not mean they take new people. I know lots that don't. And I noticed a lot of the job fair that are saying 6 months to a year. So you need to ask, does that company have a finishing program? Are they taking new students? There's only a few that are doing that. There's not a lot that are taking brand new students because of the insurance issue. So what you have to do is ask if they have a finishing program. I find people are not taking time to do the homework. They don't want to do the background work of how do I look for a job properly. They're going and they're just asking if people have a job, and when everybody says no, it could be very frustrating. So first of all, look to see, do they have a finishing program? Start with places that actually are working with new students. So I always promote, there's a place I promote all the time called TTSAO, which is the Truck Training School Association of Ontario. They have what they call a carrier list. And so if you go to ttsao.com and look under associate members or carriers, you will see a list of all carriers. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them work with new people. So that's a good place to start because you know that they're familiar with the training, they're familiar with news. So you need to find out, does the carrier work with new people? Do they have a finishing program? And a finishing program is like an extra training program. Once you get your license, you go to a carrier and they train you for 6 to 8 weeks on how not only to operate their system, but to make sure you're ready to go on the road by yourself. All good carriers have that. Third thing you need to do is to make sure you come out of a qualified training school. This will really hurt you. If you've gone to some kind of fly-by-night school, and there's been a rise in school startups since the pandemic. We now have, I think in Ontario, something like 200 schools. If you have come out of a school that is not represented well and does not have a good training program, you will not get a job. And that's what happens to a lot of people. They go to a $500 training program and then they come out and they have not learned everything they need to know to be a professional driver, and they don't get hired by a company. So a lot of it depends on where your training was. If you're brand new to this industry and you have not looked at training at all, look at the carriers and ask them what schools they hire from, because a lot of them only work with certain schools. So you want to make sure you have a certified professional training program. It's got to be at least 103 hours. It should be more like 200 hours. If you've taken a MELT course, that is not a course that a lot of people will hire you from, because that is meant as an upgrade course. And so I'm not sure why they even named it MELT, because it really is not what you should be taking if you are a brand new person. So you need to make sure they have a finishing program. Look for the larger carriers. The larger carriers like the Bisons, Rosedales, Challengers, those are the ones that will take you out of the gate usually. And so those are your best options to start looking at those. You can look at our list on our carrier profile. If you go to our YouTube channel, look under our carrier profile. We interview a lot of these different companies, and you can see which ones we actually specifically ask, do you take new people or not? I usually try to ask that question in every interview. So that's where you probably should start. And then, of course, getting experience, you need to just get in with somebody. But the reason you don't want to get in with a bad carrier, because if you have issues in that first couple of years with a bad carrier, they will hound you and you will never get hired again. So you don't want to go to someone who will just take you on easily and then not treat you properly, because you can be in some real trouble. And a lot of people are looking at that, and we have a lot of people that are focusing on immigrants because it's easy to get them into the seat, but they can take advantage of them. So don't just go for the first company on the block. You want to look for a good company, and you want to really do your homework. Most people I find are not doing their homework. They don't even know the name of the company they want to go to next or where they should look, and they're getting frustrated. And so that's the real problem with the way people are looking for jobs. So Manpreet, in answer to your question, how does somebody gain experience as a new driver? You need to get on with somebody. And that's a matter of looking. People are getting too choosy. Just pick a company, make sure they have a finishing program, and stay with them for 2 years. That is how you get your experience. Once you hit the 2-year mark, folks, 2 years, stay with them for 2 years if you can, because if you move under 2 years, it looks like you're job hopping. If you can stay with them for 2 years, at that point, all the companies open up to you and you'll be able to make your choice. But you have to start somewhere. You have to work hard. Forget about the money. Just get in there, get situated, learn the road, and then and improve yourself by being a safe driver. If you're not willing to do that, this may not be the industry for you. It's not a quick industry, and you can really kill someone if you don't do things properly. So hopefully that helped you on our Lead Pedal Q&A. And here's a great place to get some training. Hey folks, are you looking to start your career in the truck transportation industry? Ontario Truck Driving School can offer you the training you require. They have been active in the industry since 1978 and have the widest range of training programs and services in the industry. Everything from truck training to heavy equipment. And you know what? Thousands of men and women have successfully obtained employment and began careers operating heavy equipment, trucks and buses with the help of job-oriented training from Ontario Truck Driving School. They work with industry leaders and government offices to make sure that the graduates are successful and complete their training properly. The trainers have years of experience in the industry and know how things work in the transportation and construction business. In fact, truck driving courses incorporate a session with Canada Customs officials, the Ministry of Transportation, and other industry partners to make sure that you are trained properly. This training gives you the advantage of starting your new career as a truck driver. So where do you go? They've got locations all throughout Ontario, and the best way to start is to go to otds.com and look under truck training. All right, there you go. So look under truck training, and you'll get but you need to go to a reputable school, and then you need to get in. So hopefully that helped you, Manpreet. Hopefully that helped you with your thing. Check out our carrier profile list on our YouTube channel. Maybe that'll help you with some of the companies that we work with and that we interview, and you can get some good information there. Thanks for the message and the comment, Manpreet. Really appreciate that. All right, my friends. Hey, you can follow us on all of our stuff. And by the way, before I get too far into that, our Lead Pedal Q&A questions are general in nature. They are just meant to give you some general information. Please contact a immigration lawyer, a lawyer, accountant, whatever the topic is. Talk to a professional in that field to make sure that things are doing right. We don't know everybody, so we can only go by what you're telling us, and everybody has a specific situation. So our disclaimer is that we are just general in nature, and please follow up with a professional before making any major decisions on your career or life. All right, my friends. Hey, thanks for listening to us. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can find me on LinkedIn, and you'll download our app. Lead Pedal Media app is where you can keep up to date with all of us. Lots of changes happening for April, so hopefully you'll stay with us, and we'll talk to you later, my friends. Be good out there, and if you can't be good, well, just be safe. See you later.
This has been another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. For more information or to subscribe to the podcast, visit theleadpedalpodcast.com, and be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook and Twitter.